Hey guys, it's Spoonie. I was recently killing time in a mall and I found my way into their bookstore and headed to the manga section. And first of all, let me say, holy crap, there was a lot of different stuff there. Let me give you a quick history on my relationship with manga. So I used to read a lot of manga in high school. They were mostly scanslations, which are scan translations. They're kind of like fan dubs, but for manga. The last two series I really remember enjoying were Hikaru no Go and Flame of Recca, but I think I only made it to like chapter 127 in that one. Anyways, we're talking early 2000s here, literally like 20 years ago. Okay, so I picked up the first volume of Tokyo Ghoul because it's an anime that I've been wanting to watch for a long time and just have never gotten around to it. Um, the way it was described to me is like right up my alley, so I definitely think I'm going to enjoy this. Um, just a question for anybody who might be watching. If you've read the manga and seen the anime, let me know which one you like more. Whether I should focus on maybe getting through the manga series first, or just go straight to the anime, or ignore the anime altogether. Anyways, the basic plot is this guy, he goes on a date, he gets bit by the girl, and he turns into like a half human, half ghoul. And he's drawn into this kind of world with like monsters and ghouls and stuff like that. I know based off the anime that there were several kind of volumes of the show. There was, of course, the main Tokyo Ghoul, and then I think there was one called Tokyo Ghoul over A. Anyways, I'm really looking forward to this one, and like I said, I want to check out the anime, so let me know if it's any good. Okay, and the other book that I picked up today is The Promised Neverland, Volume 1. This is something I've also heard really good things about. I haven't heard much about the anime. That's actually how I became aware of the story altogether. It sounded interesting. And because I'm sort of wanting to check this format out again, I decided rather than bother with the show, I'll just go straight to the source material. Now, I know the basics of the plot where it's set in an orphanage with these characters and everything seems kind of nice, but there's sort of sinister stuff going on. And there's like some hidden truth about the world that's actually outside of the orphanage. I heard the anime isn't great. I heard the first season was good, but the second season kind of rushed through a lot of the story parts to sort of get to the ending. Anyways, this is another one that seems really cool. I like a lot of the sign-in stuff, a lot of the dark fantasy, and the sort of more mature. Like, I don't want to say I like the gory stuff, but I do kind of like the gory stuff, like Berserk. I haven't actually read any of Junji Ito's work, but it always looked very kind of unsettling to me. So yeah, this is another one that I've been sort of looking forward to get into the story. And the way I heard the anime described, it sounds like I'm better off not consuming it that way. But let me know if you've seen the anime and you like it, or especially if you've seen that and read this, and whether you can tell me if it's worth my time going forward into the show. Okay, and now I'm going to show off some of the stuff that I've had since the fabled early 2000s. Um, the next book actually I have is more recent. It is the Bat Manga Volume 3 from DC Comics. I actually got this from the dollar store for like $4. If you watch my dollar store videos, you can see a lot of great stuff there for very cheap. This was one of them. And these are a Japanese adaptation of several Batman, actual Western Batman stories at the back here. They sort of tell you which story is which, what the original Batman or Detective Comics issue it was, and then what issue the adaptation of Shonen King these chapters appeared in. There's a bunch of stories that feature Clayface, and also I think that's the introduction of Catman. Anyways, the art in this looks really cool. I don't think I've read any of the original issues, so it would be cool to read this and then read those to kind of side by side compare them. I think that would be cool if I was able to find those and do that for a video. But I think it's interesting to see a interpretation of the character, but not like kind of like a free interpretation where they were allowed to kind of do their own thing, but rather one where they're directly adapting storylines. This, I believe, is supposed to be the first person who ever used the outsider identity, and it was I think, brainwashed or hypnotized Alfred Pennyworth. The next book is The Ring, Volume 2. I actually do have Volume 1 somewhere, or I may have donated it accidentally in a box of books. So the first volume was really good. It is the basis for the Ringu and the first Ring movie, and the second volume here is sort of the basis for the Ring 2. And as I understood, this story was originally printed, I think, as a novel, and then later adapted into a manga and then a film, or maybe I've got that order wrong. I don't mind if you guys correct me on that. Anyways, I haven't read this in quite some time, but I do remember it does do a good job of capturing the kind of that sense of dread and the atmosphere that the films were able to convey. At least the first one, I thought was done very well. And kind of like with the Bat manga, I'm wondering if I could potentially sort of read through this, watch the film, and then do a little kind of comparison, because I always like to see the way they adapt stuff. Usually, most times adaptations, whether it be from a book, like a comic, a manga, anything, into a movie or a live action series, usually doesn't go very well, but sometimes it does. I think that new Sandman show is amazing. So yeah, like I said, I thought this was good. The atmosphere they were able to build was great. And I think that I might just appreciate this more now that I'm older than when I did as a young man. Check it out. The best in boys love. Student, teacher, taboo, or passion. Two's company, three's a crowd. Only one thing can keep them together: desire. And then, of course, you guys fucking get ready. It's gonna get worse. Certified tough. Stop. You're reading this the wrong way. Published by Dark Horse. Do they even still do manga, or has that all been sort of assimilated into Viz and Kodansha or whoever is publishing all this stuff right now? Okay, and actually continuing with sort of an adaptation of another form of media, I have the first volume of the manga adaptation of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. You can see there's a very effeminate Liam Neeson looking there on the cover. And this one was actually printed in the Western style. So that means reading left to right. The book is printed left to right. And They actually sort of mention that in the opening here. You're welcome to pause and read if you want, but basically it says that in order to conform to Western standards, the art in this book was copied in a mirror image to facilitate left to right reading of these pages. This, of course, can cause some confusion in a story such as Star Wars The Phantom Menace, where readers are somewhat familiar with the material, so they will notice characters moving and appearing in an opposite fashion. Okay, first of all, I saw this movie in the theaters like 7 times. I can tell you that this being put off by the movement of the character, like, oh, he's looking to the left instead of looking to the right. Star Wars, at least that I'm aware of, Star Wars fans didn't used to be that anal about that kind of stuff, continuity. Anyways, it's a pretty good adaptation of the film. I don't know if the opening here is the exact same as the opening scroll from the movie. So if you've seen the movie, you'll recognize a lot of the stuff, even though it is mirrored. And so here he comes down in Naboo, and they run into Jar Jar, and he takes them to the Gungan city. And they go up and they speak to the Queen, and then they have to try to escape from the planet. And then Darth Maul is there, and he had like 0 dialogue in the movie. I think all he said was, "Yes, my master." So here they are on Tatooine, and they're trying to barter with Watto for the engine parts they need, and they meet Anakin, and he's a magic baby conceived of the Force or something, midichlorians. And yeah, so this thing appears to, again, I haven't read this in a long time. It appears to end right with them, with Anakin winning the pod race. And it looks like just before that, they were setting up the whole thing where Darth Maul had touched down on the planet. So after they win the pod race, they get the parts to go back to their ship and fix it, and that's where Maul ambushes them. But I guess you got to get Volume 2 for that. And then here's just some sketches of the characters, like Amidala, which I think they did a great job on. There's Palpatine. There's Liam Neeson and Obi-Wan. And then Darth Maul. And look at this. Check out how old this is. First edition, December 1999. I didn't even realize this was that old. I thought I bought it a little bit later. And here again, you can pause or freeze frame or whatever. This was at the time. The other manga that Dark Horse Comics had the distribution rights for. Oh, 3x3 Eyes. I loved the OVAs for that show. And then here's the list of the Star Wars trade paperback comics from Dark Horse. And this is the stuff that's worth reading. Something that annoys me is I had Dark Empire and Dark Empire 2, and they were both amazing. Dark Empire, the first one, I think is the one where we can see that Luke has grown so powerful he's able to take down like an AT-AT using the Force. He just like crushes it. Anyways, I lent it to a friend in high school, and I never saw them again. And keeping on with the licensed property manga, the next one is Volume 1 of Kingdom Hearts, published by Tokyo Pop. This, like the other one, has been mirrored, or I don't know if they mirrored the images, but they printed it in the Western style. And I love this game. I played the hell out of it on the PS2. I bought the Kingdom Hearts remix or remastered collections on the Xbox. They came out within the last several years. And got to play through this all over again, but this time with achievements. And I was able to, I believe, one-run the game. I'm so familiar with it that I was able to do all the objectives, like play in the hardest setting, don't upgrade your character, use the default weapon through the whole thing. Even after a lot of time away, it it still came pretty easy. Anyways, I'm saying I'm so familiar with the game because I want to point out that a lot of the stuff that they drew into the story here is pretty accurate to the settings and the locations featured in the game. So I think they did a great job, at the very least, doing a sort of visual depiction of the game. And again, it's been like 20 years since I've read this stuff, so I couldn't tell you, exactly how close it is. I think it's probably just more of anything like the dialogue change and stuff like that, but all the major plot points where you meet Chip and Dale and they give you the gummy ship, all of this stuff seems to be here, including the first world you go to is the Alice in Wonderland world, which when I was younger seemed so confusing, but I guess games have gotten so sophisticated since then that the levels themselves just seem so small now. So yeah, it's a great book to look at. There's a really cool picture of one of the Heartless there. And yeah, I will probably reread this, and who knows, maybe I'll try to track down the rest of the series. I have no idea how far they went, whether they did Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 3, all those stupid side story remix things on like the Game Boy. And here's some rough character sketches. And it seems like from the beginning, there was a pretty good grasp on how the characters look. Although this is because there was a video game to directly reference for the original characters. And then when it comes to like Donald and Goofy, again, there's a lot to reference from the games, but I'm sure Disney probably gave them standards and guidelines that they had to adhere to when depicting their characters. And in the next volume, stuff happens. And here's a list of other stuff that was available from Tokyo Pop at the time. So, Cardcaptor Sakura. Oh, they had Cowboy Bebop at the time. Score. What else you got here? They had all the Digimon stuff. Don't care. Fooly Cooly. That's nice. Pretty much all the Gundam stuff. So as you can see, at the time they were Tokyo Pop was publishing other Disney adaptations. I assume they would also be some kind of manga versions of the stories. They have that sort of anime rating on it, but perhaps they were just a distributor for this stuff. Kim Possible. And then it's just like buy our stuff. And the final volume of manga that I have is actually like a proper manga, and it is Trigun Volume 1. This is also from Dark Horse Publishing. This is, I believe, the first, let's see here, first edition, October 2003. So this is the first official Western translated edition of Trigun. It's something I found about through the anime series. If you haven't seen the anime, I definitely recommend it. It's a show that's kind of like a sci-fi western, and it has a good mix of humor and action. And from what I recall, the show actually did a pretty good job of adapting this material into the anime. No, I know that there was a newer version of Trigun that came out recently. I don't know if it's a full Alchemist style reboot or if it's maybe just continuing some of the stories later on. So the basic plot for this one is this guy here, the main character in the red trench coat. His name is Vash the Stampede, and he's wanted for some ridiculous sum of money. But he's being framed for it. We find out that not only is he kind of like a pacifist, but he's also kind of like a coward and clueless at times. So there's a little bit of a mystery as to who's framing him and why. And he ends up getting this. I think she's like an insurance agent or something like that. He gets this woman to join him as kind of like his partner while they're going through stuff. I haven't read this book in quite a while, and it's been even longer since the anime. So this year might be a good time to sort of revisit some of these old favorites and see how they hold up compared to what I remember. Anyways, I think that's everything for this video. I appreciate you watching to the end here. If you have any recommendations or comments about any of the stuff I showed you or that I'm about to read, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.